Yeah, yeah. In your house with O'Con. Hey, O'Con in your house. Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's head in the clouds. Curating all kind of loud. Wrestling in front of the crowds. Paragon's holding it down. Anybody can get it. Josh Joseph standing on his decisions. He is the voice. There is no choice. We as them boys in your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast just like cruiserweight action. In your house is the perfect distraction. Rumpus in your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action. Smoke. What is up, guys? What is cracking? It's the man, and I am in for Howse, and you guys already know the vibes. Anytime we slide on through, we're here to give you that work when it comes to this professional wrestling business. And guys, I'm coming back to you. I'm here. I'm chilling. I'm on the set. I'm in the set here. You guys see it back here. This is what I've been doing on my vacation. For anybody else anybody that's watching the video, look at this. So pretty. I love it. I love it. It's not even done yet. We're still working on it. It's gonna be nice, but this is gonna be nice too because we got another great episode of In Your House. It's the Sunday house party. It's Sunday fun day, and you know, as much as I've enjoyed this vacation, this time off, done a lot of things and got a lot of stuff done, and I'm loving it, and watched a lot of wrestling as well, and I love it because I get a chance to come here on a Sunday, chill, vibe with my people. And I got to bring my people on right now because we just had a great SmackDown, honestly. In London, I think they're coming up on the last week of their European tour. We're all heavy on the road to WrestleMania, ladies and gentlemen. And I can't talk SmackDown without my man who does it on Fridays. He hangs out in his room, y'all. His name is the Grunmeister. He's here at In Your House. What is up, man?
What is up? It is a beautiful Sunday. We got the house party, and Con, you enjoying your weekend? Or I'm sorry, your vacation.
Oh, yes, sir, I am. My God, I'm loving it. And listen, it's been great. It's been a vibe. But you know, we talk about everything going down. Everything is down on SmackDown. I know you've watched SmackDown. We're gonna talk SmackDown, Grun, and I know you got a lot of thoughts from your Friday show, and we're gonna get in on because we also got a big guest. But before we get to that, I got to get to my man who does this thing on Mondays. He holds it down when it comes to Monday Night Raw, and then a little bit of news on ECW or ECW Watch Series. We're about to buy this thing, but first I got to bring on my man, the voice, Josh Joseph. What is up, bro?
How goes it, house? How goes it, household? Grun's friends, my friends, your friends, any chaos goblins out there, and all you window lickers, it's a great day, and it's fantastic to see you here enjoying a Sunday house party with us. And I'm enjoying the contrast between the two rooms. So, House, you're looking like a dude from the 90s movies who just like hacks computers. In your little, like, I picture Nine Inch Nails blaring on your your speakers. And Grun, what the fuck is going on in your room?
I would say if we're gonna compare this to a band, Simple Plan, punk rock, Bowling for Soup, maybe
yeah.
Let's see. You got? I like it. It's organized.
It is. I mean, he has finally cleaned it up. And the door
he has worked on his room, bro.
The door from one of the first episodes you've ever done is still off. And I know Hypocrisy. He brought that up. I think it was like one of your probably second or third one.
Yeah. He's not the first. No one, and
he won't be the last.
This is just what I have because I got to figure out what I'm gonna do with my stuff, and I definitely need to get rid of some of the stuff I got.
There you go, fans. Hit Grun up if you want some of his shit. He's giving it away.
He's giving
I will-
stuff away. Stuff.
Just
Yeah.
pay for shipping.
You're trying to get rid of it.
I am. Just cover the shipping costs. That's
Just
it.
cover that shipping cost and you get grunge shit.
And you guys get Grun's things. And he'll autograph it for you too. So there you go.
Sure.
There
Yeah.
you go. But listen. Well, real quick before we bring on producer of the show, my man, my brother, we got some new CW watch along series that me and Voice got to get to. But he runs the ship over there on ECW, so I'm gonna let him tell you, man. We're gonna have a schedule change, bro.
Yeah, we have to have a schedule change. Apparently my kids actually do very well in the sports that they do, and it demands my time. So I got to be a dad and do all that. So House, I think we talked about we're moving it to Thursdays. There is no in your house.
Thursdays.
Yes. So Thursdays is going to be the day to catch us for our ECW watch along. We have no shows on in your house as of now for Thursdays. So it's
No.
going to be a singular spot. Grun, you don't have to compete with greatness, some would say.
I mean,
Thank
I
God.
don't
let's face
say
it.
that.
The ECW watch along has been fire. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But and we also get to catch your show now because there's a lot of times
Yes.
when we're still on. and
Exactly.
I see Grun going, so we're going to be able to contribute more in that way for you, Grun. So fans, don't worry, it's still in our books.
Still here.
We just had to shift gears,
No doubt. And I'm gonna shift gears. I'm gonna do just that, Voice, because I gotta bring on producer of the show. It's always Smokey over there in High Philadelphia. My man, my friend, my brother, Hypocrisy Jones, producer of the show. What's up, man?
Yo. What is up out there, household? You know it's always Smokey in Hypadelphia, and I keep it smoky, and I'm ready to talk some wrestling. I'm playing a little WWE 2K too, because you know how I do.
Okay.
But like, yeah. So like, I don't know.
Hey,
Let's get on with this.
Gonna be a vibe today. Let's get it, bro. Let's get it because
Yeah.
it's gonna be a vibe today. Because not only do we got the core four here, right here. I know eventually the Lou is gonna jump in here, so we might as well just do it for the Lou when he comes in here. The IYH house. Put him up real quick. Put him up for one time for the one time. One time for the one time. The IYH household. So now we got the core four coming through, but not only that. We got my dude coming on here, and he's been wanting to get on this show for a while, and we've been wanting to get him on this show for a while. And I've been this guy around for years, man, and he's a good dude, and always super supportive, man. Always super supportive of the people that he cares about, the arts that he always shows love. And as an artist, I can tell you for a fact that I and all other artists appreciate what he does and brings. But now jumping into the business back in his own right, he's been doing a whole lot of ring announcing. You can catch him at New Era Wrestling. You could also catch him at Emerge Wrestling as the ring announcer. It's my man, Big Raj, is coming on here in your house. What is up, dog?
Yo, what's up, y'all? I appreciate you getting me on. Like Con said, I've been itching to become a household member for a minute now, so I appreciate making the time and space for me to come talk a little wrestling with y'all.
Absolutely.
Of course.
That
Always.
itchiness is just Grun.
No.
You gotta watch
No.
out for that guy.
Yeah.
You gotta watch out for that guy.
I don't know. I think what makes me itch is that Liv Morgan hate I get from voice. That makes me
Oh.
itchy. I don't like it because
Well,
Oh, yeah. He knows it. He knows it. Big Raj, we appreciate. I will say this: we do appreciate the fact that you're a consistent watcher, consistent listener, and now we got you here on the show because you've been cool for years, bro. Straight up, bro. You always been solid to me. You came to my house. You came to my housewarming. You know what I'm saying? That was appreciated. That was cool. And you just a cool dude, man. You always supportive of people. I know you big in the music scene and then hip hop specifically, most specifically. And you've even turned me on to a few dope talents. You know what I'm saying? That's locally in the area. And we built that relationship through music, through wrestling, through being fathers, and whatnot. But now you're here on the show, and man, I saw haven't really been on social media that much, Raj. I'll be honest with you, bro. I've been on vacation this past week, so I just been kind of vibing out, chilling, hanging with the kids and whatnot. I joined the gym after the first time in a year. I joined the gym, so now I'm getting back in the gym and teaching my son how to drive and doing all that stuff. But through all of that stuff that I've done in this last week, I did get a chance to get on social media. I saw a post that you put out, and you said you were dying to get on In Your House because you got a lot about the road to WrestleMania, and man, we just had a big SmackDown. And I'm gonna and here in a second, I'm gonna defer to my man Grunmeister because he covers SmackDown. But you put out that post, Raj, about you got some stuff that you're dying to get out here. Here you are, man. So, man, are you ready to get the ball rolling here?
Yeah,
Once
it's
we
all
get
good.
going, we at the gate, bro.
Yeah, for
We out
sure.
the gate, bro. All right.
So the biggest thing for me, and I know I got two big things for WrestleMania that's been bugging me, and I'm sure we'll hit on one of them when we get into SmackDown with this triple threat between Seth and Roman and CM Punk. The biggest thing that's bugging me though right now is this build for Jay and Gunther.
Oof.
Like,
Okay.
like I feel like one of two things are going to happen. Either they're going to let Jay win the title, and everyone's going to go, "Well, we knew that was going to happen because Gunther beat him up for 4 weeks before we went to Mania," or
Mm-hmm.
Jay's going to lose, and then everyone's going to be like, "See, we told you he was never the guy. He could never get it done because they've made him look weak, a week after
Ooh.
show after show after show. They make him look weak by getting beat up by Gunther or choked out or in the back." Crying about no one believes in me, and that build for me isn't just, it's not giving me the warm fuzzies I want for this match. Uh
Sure.
we know they can have a good match. I mean, they had a killer match at Crown Jewel, I believe it was, when we thought Jay was going to go over and then but this, the way they're moving this for me is just, it's odd to me. It's either giving away the finish because Jay's going to finally get his comeuppance and get the win, or it's going to make Jay look even worse because he still lost again to Gunther. And I don't think that's the way we should be moving in a WrestleMania match. It just, every week I get more and more irritated about it, if I'm being real. And I love both workers. I've been a Jay guy for a long
Sure.
time. I
Absolutely.
like Gunther when he was Walton, when he was fat, because I'm a big guy. So, but then he got slim and those chops. I'm a chop guy, so anybody can chop someone
Yeah.
and make them cry, I'm here for it. Uh, but that's the biggest thing for me on this build is this Jay and Gunther match.
I got you. I got you. So let me ask you this, bro. Let me ask you this. So we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk all things SmackDown here in a second. Like I said, I'm about to let Grunmeister have it, but I want to ask you this, Raj. You're not a fan of the build, and I hear where you're coming from because I think a lot of people feel that same way. I think we're in that same energy. So coming out of SmackDown, we realize that without a shadow of a doubt, because we know Cody and Cena is going to main event night 2.
Oh yeah.
And then we figured out that Reigns, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk are going to main event night 1. So I want to ask you, with you not feeling where storyline is going right now, and then you consider the fact that it's also not going to main event either night. Does this also the storyline for you, or do you even care about that?
It bugs me only in the fact that Jay Uso won the Royal Rumble. And when you win the Royal Rumble, what do they say? You're main eventing
Main
WrestleMania. You're
eventing.
main event.
Yes.
And now, so Charlotte Flair won. She's not main eventing. Jay won.
Mm-hmm.
He's not main eventing. So that tradition kind of is falling to the wayside. I don't like that. Do I think they deserve the main event with the story that they're building? No, I don't think the audience believes that it's a main event because of what you're selling us. But I am a little sad about that tradition because Royal Rumble winner main events WrestleMania. That's what they say, and that's not going to happen this year for either winner.
It sounds like what you're saying, Raj, is that Jay's name should be mid-event Jay Uso from now on, and if we're talking about time, Tippy time comes a half past whatever, right?
Yeah,
Ooh,
you know,
it's ah,
you're not giving
ugh,
me
it's
the superstar feel for these Royal Rumble winners. You're telling me we had them win, but we don't really believe in them. It's kind of what I feel like the Fed's telling us with not letting them either win or main event a spot on 2 nights of wrestling.
Okay.
and you know, this adds to what I was saying just a couple of I mean, we were just talking about this a couple of weeks ago, me and Voice Fear, you know, and we were talking about uh does the elimination chamber feel bigger than the Royal Rumble this year? You remember the station?
I
And
do.
what Raj is telling me and what I'm hearing and also how I'm feeling is absolutely, even as time progresses on, um it seemed like this year's elimination chamber was absolutely more important than the Royal Rumble. And as who went to enjoyed it, had a great time, I loved it, I would do it again a million times out of a million times. I don't let bias, you know, get in the way. Like, yeah, the elimination chamber was more important than this year's Royal Rumble. And that's just the vibes I get, because yeah, everybody, ever since Cena did what he did, and like everybody's like I'm telling you, I see it all the time, everybody's dissecting what Cena's saying, what Cena's wearing. Now Cody feels like the guy again. You know, it's big, it's huge. It feels like the undisputed title is once again the title. And here's the crazy thing about that: it has nothing to do with Roman Reigns, and that's nutty in itself. But here's the thing: Jey Uso and Gunther, is Gunther going there and doing his thing? He most definitely is. Like Gunther, I don't got nothing bad to say about Gunther, to be honest with you. Like, he's going out there, he's being the asshole heel, he's having, you know, television matches, he's building up, he's probably more than likely gonna do the honors for Jey Uso at WrestleMania. He's doing everything that he needs to do. He just is, you know. Jay is this is where, like, there's a lot of criticism coming Jay's way right now. Like, a lot of criticism coming Jay's way for sure, and it's all warranted, because while my man Raj is right, he's not main eventing. He's considered to be main event Jey Uso. So that means, when the lights are brightest, you don't slip up, you don't mess up, you don't trip up when you're trying to jump over the top rope, you don't slip up when you're going for you're on point, you're ready, you're prepared. And that's just not what we're seeing from Jey Uso, so much to a point where they had to bring his brother in here and try to hype him up. Because here's the thing, once again, as somebody who loves Jey Uso, when he won the Royal Rumble, I was yeeting with everybody else. I sure as shit was. But here's the thing: he can't hold a promo on his own. He needs somebody to bounce off of. He's, you know, he's getting criticized, you know, for his in-ring work, which I mean is fair. You know, we were supposed to have a big match with him and his brother last year's WrestleMania. That didn't hit, you know, I mean, come on, bro. Like, once again, I love Jay, but I'm gonna call it like I see it, and that's exactly what I'm seeing here. And we can have that discussion for sure. But man, we've got to touch a little bit on SmackDown for sure, just because it was a big SmackDown. And I think we can circle back to the Jay discussion. I think that we will at some point in the conversation. But Grun, this was a pretty good SmackDown, pretty solid front to back SmackDown. You had Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre that was on the card. Not only was it on the card, it didn't even main event the show. I mean, that was crazy. What's your overall thoughts on SmackDown, Grun?
Overall, I thought this was a better SmackDown than the previous week for a few reasons. Tiffany actually cut the promo this week that she was supposed to cut last week. That was ruined by Charlotte. That is my opinion. You don't like it, that's your opinion. I can't wait to see when I'm right on Charlotte. But
so, real quick, real quick, I just want to, because I know we got a lot to talk about. The Charlotte thing, you were talking a little bit about that on Grun's Room, our Friday show. And you
for about 25 minutes.
They're 25 minutes. All right, well, we can't show the whole 25 minutes.
No.
But I will say this: if you guys want to hear that and feel what my man Grun was talking about with the Charlotte thing, go back to Grun's room. It's available on his Twitch. It's also going to be available on demand on the podcast version for on In Your House channel. So check that out. But I did get a little clip of it so we can catch a vibe of what you're saying, what your mindset is about Charlotte Flair. It is from this past Friday's Grunge Room.
In your house, host crime meister laying the smackdown. Top rope, high flyer, got the latest news on standby. In your house, crime meister talking.
This SmackDown interview from last week, it really made Tiffany look bad. But here's the thing. That entire time, Charlotte had this smug look on her face. Tiffany stumbled over her words once or twice, but it wasn't just because Charlotte stopped talking. Charlotte repeatedly interrupted her. Charlotte repeatedly made her look like an idiot. Charlotte Flair very likely went into business for herself and is mad that most of the fan base don't want her back. Most of the fan base, like me, we don't want Charlotte anymore.
Hey, that is words from our man Grunmeister. So, I mean, you stand on this, bro? You think the fans don't want Charlotte anymore?
I don't think so. I think the fans
Okay.
were happy. I think you can make an argument that fans were happy to see Charlotte Flair back because even before this whole thing with Tiffany, like she had a spotty reputation in the locker room, but as a performer, as a promo cutter, as a talker, as a character, as a performer for the WWE, she's always been grade A. So the fans were always knew that they were going to get something good out of her. But this is not there. There's no way this is at Charlotte. This is a lesser version. Charlotte is not if I'm going to be unbiased, my best guess is that she is trying to deal with her divorce still. And the only way she knows how to do that is to do pro wrestling, to do anything to get attention. But it's not enough this time. This time it is not enough. And she needs to take a significant amount of time off to get herself back in the right mindset. Because you can't accomplish anything like if you got something bothering you at your everyday job, whether it be working in a warehouse or working at damn Walmart, like you might not be able to perform at the best of your ability if you got something that is really eating at you. And now consider that on a stage where you are constantly being watched by millions of eyes every week, multiple times a week. They're looking at your social media posts. They're looking at what you're saying online. They're looking at what events you're going to be doing. You are constantly in the public eye. That's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of stress. So I've made myself a very clear Charlotte Flair hater, but I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt that maybe there is something bigger going on that lots of people don't want to deal with their internal struggles.
Yeah. I think we've talked about that on this show for a while. She had a big injury that kept her out a lot of last year. She was dealing with her, divorce and everything and just a lot of things like that. So, yeah, once again, and I reiterate, and I'll say this again, if Charlotte Flair takes time off after WrestleMania, if she loses to Tiffany, I think she's going to lose to Tiffany. I think Tiffany's going to retain at WrestleMania. And if shortly after that, we see Charlotte Flair take some time off, for me, I mean, no reason to get involved in her personal life. But if you ask me, I'm going to say something's going on. You know what I'm saying? Something's going on. That's the only, that's the only thing I could attest it to. And if that's the case, let her deal with it and heal from it and whatnot. But yeah, she still got business up until WrestleMania for sure. And somebody who's also been super critical of Charlotte is my man over here, the voice, Josh. Joe, where are you at, man? What's your current thoughts on where we're at with the WrestleMania main events and the actual WrestleMania main events, and where Charlotte falls?
Well, first I'll start with the WrestleMania main events. I think the main events for WrestleMania has become finishing stories. It's not really about the title anymore. Thanks a lot, Cody. It just drives me nuts because I'm there with Roger here. Because that when you win a Royal Rumble, you're the main eventer for that Mania. That's how it's been. And yes, I seen Tony, you say that it has happened before. Yes, it has. But in this specific one, it seems like we're finishing CM Punk's story of becoming a WrestleMania main eventer. We're supposedly possibly going to finish Cena's story where he becomes the next ultimate holder of the world title. So there's two stories that they're going to finish, and that if they go that route with Cena, it's going to ignite, a little more of a story. So you can kind of go there with that one, but I could see where people could poke holes in it. So ultimately, that's where it's at. I want to yell at you guys for the cutting down the nickname for Jay, but I can't, because you're right. And it's, if I'm going to critique Drew McIntyre in the way I do, I have to critique Jay in the way I do. And I think that he has gotten to that point, because you're right, Howse. How many times do we watch a match of his and he slips doing a move, or he stumbles doing something, or his in-ring isn't the best or where it needs to be? That brother versus brother match, come on, I wish we could erase that from memories. Look into the screen, let me click the button, get that out of there, because that was supposed to be. But I don't think we got the match we were supposed to get, and it's not for the in-ring work, it's because of the people around it. Those two wanted to be in that match at main event, going for a title. It wasn't just for them to go there and be like, hey fellas, we're here in the WrestleMania ring, look at us, woo, remember when we were kids? No, that's not what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be for a title, for an ultimate thing, and you gave them a second prize. So of course the energy was going to be sucked out of that one. Now I'm going to move on from there, because I think Jay will prove why he has that name. There's a lot more I can go into with that one, but I want to hit on Charlotte, and I want to say, I think the Flair name has carried her up to this moment, and she doesn't know how to pivot because she doesn't know anything outside the Flair name. So that's why we're seeing so many things with her. I was a big Charlotte fan, and it was Roger. It was just like you, in the fact that I was a huge Nature Boy fan. So that made me a David Flair fan. And then when Charlotte came around, that made me a Charlotte fan. But now that I'm starting to see this, and I go back to that, her winning the chamber, or her winning the Royal Rumble, and then showing up on that Monday night, and that interview, that was not, hey guys, we're going to play 4D chess and write the storyline. That was somebody who expected this and got this and didn't know how to manage in between the middle. Your tombstone, where it gives that year you were born and the year you died, and that dash in between is everything that is meaningful, not those 2 dates or those 2 years there, that dash in between. And in between her dash of greatness and coming back, she failed and fell on her face, and she did not live up to the Flair name. I'm sorry, but that's reality. That's where we're at. And they are not playing 4D chess with this chick. I'm telling you right now, she is crumbling. And whatever it may be, whatever personal issues, I don't know. But what I think it is, this guy right here, is the women's division is so fucking good. They can go. You guys remember that?
God.
Seth Rollins in the ring looking at the phone, and it says, Bye-bye, bitch. That's where we're at with it because they moved on. They don't need an Amazon doing what they got because they got Rhea Ripley. This women's division is far beyond what Charlotte Flair can bring to any promotion to date. Right now, she brings nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing.
And
Rant.
I just want to I just want to jump in on that. I want to jump in on that because that makes me think that. And we was talking about it earlier, bro. I'm like, have we reached a point? And I want I want real honest. And I'm gonna throw it the hype real quick. Have we reached a point where the WWE, the women's division, could move on past Charlotte Flair?
Yes.
I definitely think that the women's division could move on past Charlotte Flair, but I think there's still room for a Charlotte Flair. I sorry to jump in on the He-Man Charlotte hating club, but I'm going to give her some credit. In Charlotte has been doing this for years. She knows what points she needs to hit. In these last few matches between B-Fab and Mia Yim, she has really risen their stocks in their matches. There's not really very many matches throughout Charlotte's history that she hasn't risen the stock of her competitor. Charlotte's worth her weight in gold because of what she does for other competitors, the way that she puts them over or gets them over. And I'm not selling on Charlotte Flair right now because she hit on that side by side promo between her and Tiffy, and I know Tiffy stumbled on that, but these are her growing pains, and I know we all want to be sympathetic towards Tiffy. And look, I was chanting it's Tiffy time way back before it was cool, and but with that, look, she has to catch up to her time, bro. She has to rise to this time. I don't think we put blame on Charlotte. I also don't think we put blame on this main event issue because look, I know the winner of the Royal Rumble is set to main event WrestleMania, but main eventing is so much different than it used to be. We used to have one story that really was the main event of a culmination of a year. We don't have that anymore. We have about 3 to 4 stories that could be A stories, like A fucking stories. And then we have a couple of really good B stories in these seasons now. I think we're a little harsh on what a main event is because I think the whole show is a main event. Now we're gonna get some little like LWO, and I'm not hating on them, but like they're mid card, right? Matches, and we're gonna get some stuff thrown in there a little bit, but the main event is the main event. Look, Cody Cena is the main event because it's obvious. It's fucking obvious. And the amount of emotion that the crowd implores from this matchup to what we're actually going to see when this happens, because it's going to be the biggest chaotic mess that you've ever seen and loved at the same time. I just feel that because I know it's going to be an overbooked mess. I know it's going to be crazy chaotic. I know there's going to be so many different factors in there that pull you from, oh my God, this just happened, to, oh my God, this just happened. And we know this in our mind, right? We also know that CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, 2 of those guys have been a part of the last 14 or 13 WrestleMania main events over the past like 15 years, and then one guy has never been in a WrestleMania main event, but he's getting his chance right now, and I understand the story and I understand why. Does this put a little lackluster on Gunther, Jay, and Tiffany, Charlotte. I mean, maybe if you want to be harsh about it, but these are two world championship matches that are going on in and telling different stories. I think at the end of Gunther and Jay, we're actually gonna see Gunther slip up, and it flips the entire story on its head. Where we've seen Jay slip up over these past few weeks. It only takes anybody slipping up one time for shit to change. And I think that's the story that we're trying to tell in Gunther versus Jay. And I don't exactly know what story we're trying to tell with Tiffany versus Charlotte yet, other than Tiffany has to prove that she is on Charlotte's level, whether she is holding the championship or not. And
does she?
I
think Charlotte has to beat the rookie and has to make sure she gets that win. Because Tiffany, like Tiffany said in her promo, she's got nothing really to lose besides a title. She's got her fan base. Charlotte has a lot to prove in this match in beating Tiffany, because if this rookie who hasn't put in the time, who hasn't put in the years like Charlotte, if she doesn't get over on her, you're going to be swimming in my pool, buddy.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think Charlotte can lose, good. And it doesn't affect her all that much. She's a what 13-time champion already. Like, if she loses this match to Tiffany, she's not going to be like, we're not going to never think of Charlotte Flair again. We're not going to never think of her as a credible threat. Like, she may come back. This may just be a redemption story for her.
But if Charlotte loses, what if in her mind she's, dang, time is passing me by. Dang, I'm not the it girl anymore. It don't matter what we think. I'm talking about what Charlotte Flair is thinking in her mind. If Charlotte Flair loses to the next up, you got to think. We're looking at Tiffany Stratton like, and everybody's looking at it like that's Charlotte Flair's replacement, right? So what if the story is Charlotte loses at WrestleMania, and now Charlotte Flair actually has to deal with the fact that, wow, I'm not the it girl anymore. How is she to deal with? And that's a story that can be created from a WrestleMania loss for Charlotte Flair.
And then where does Charlotte Flair go from there? I don't hate this story with Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton. I don't know. I see that there's meat to it, but I also see maybe we don't take the biggest bite out of it right now. Maybe we kind of just, we let that meat cook. Yeah,
no doubt.
Rod, you had a thought, man? You had a thought?
Yeah. I just wanted to add a couple things on the Flair thing. For one, Con, you asked, or someone asked about the women's division and does it need Flair? What I'm going to say to that is Flair was out with that injury for a year, and me watching the women's division, I never missed her. Now, I will admit to you, I was a Ric Flair guy. I've never been big on Charlotte Flair personally, but there were times where I was like, what the hell's going on with the Charlotte Flair? And I would have to Google to be like, oh yeah, she's out on injury, because this women's division right now is so strong. And I'll add this. I'm a huge Asuka fan. Asuka's been my favorite women's wrestler for years. I think Asuka and Flair are kind of in the same boat right now, where this division is so good that when they're not there, you really don't miss them. And then as far as this question with Tiffy, the story I wanted them to tell with this, and now this is me armchair booking, and I'll say that I wanted them to tell the story of, has Flair lost a step because she's coming back from a knee injury, right? Has she lost a step? And I think that's kind of where hype was going, where they go next, or that's the story I wanted to see. Flair comes back, maybe Tiffy gets up on her a little bit in interviews or even in tag team matches, whatever. Has Flair lost a step? And I think that's a real question, right? Not personal issues, recovery from injury. Has she lost that bite or that step?
Absolutely.
But I think she has a little bit, and I don't know what the reasons are, and I don't care what the reasons are if I'm being completely transparent, because the other women are so good that if she has lost a step, we're not missing anything. You know, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, if Flair would have been out for a year, I would have noticed, right? And I didn't. There were times where I didn't even know. She came back at Rumble, and I was like, "Oh yeah, shit, Flair's been out." I kind of forgot, you know. So that's interesting when she was such a pivotal role 4 or 5 years ago in this division.
But can I say something real quick, Roger? Let's put this into like building a building. When the people who lay the slab that build the foundation are done, that's it. That's all you need from them. They've built it.
Right.
And then everybody builds on top of that. And I'm not saying that Charlotte doesn't have a place, but here's somebody who has taken the opposite of what Charlotte's doing right now. Natalya fits into the WWE because when they need her, they can plug and play her. She's not out there creating something, because Charlotte has created her own controversy outside of the ring, in which that has brought people in to be negative on what she does in a ring. Now, me coming as a Charlotte fan and seeing the progression that she's had since her return, I'm sorry, but that it's not the same. I can't get behind her because she's not the same wrestler. And just take that one move she does where they throw her into the corner and she does the flip over the rope. The one she did against Mi Chin, it wasn't as quick. It wasn't as crisp as she used to. That's just father time catching up with you. That happens naturally. Yeah, and you're gonna be more protective of it. But I'm agreeing with what you're saying there, Jones, and I can see where you're coming from. This could all be a play, and if it is, here's my money, I'm hooked. But there's some things in it that don't seem.
Can I add to this?
Exacting.
Because when I look at the landscape of WWE, I didn't see a better matchup for Tiffany Stratton this year, WrestleMania. I didn't see and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys see something there. I didn't see a better matchup for her, a better marquee matchup. This is the biggest marquee matchup that you can get. And like I said, even if Charlotte is not the Charlotte of old, she didn't really need to be. I've thought for a while that this is a moment for Tiffany to win, a big time win, big time on a big time stage against a big time opponent, for her to continue to catapult from there. But my only argument in this feud is that I still think Tiffany needs to step up. Even at Charlotte's lowest, she's still hitting, and she's still killing Tiffany and doing and being better than Tiffany on the mic and competitively, because we haven't seen Tiffany in a match in a few weeks now, right? So
she hasn't wrestled, but Flair has.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's what I'm seeing from this. But with this, I think it's doing what it's supposed to do, because we as a collective podcast, we've been talking about Tiffany and Charlotte for a couple weeks now. And you know who we haven't really talked about?
Sure.
The whole other women's world championship match.
Oh my gosh.
True.
No, we haven't gotten to it.
Well, no. Even in this conversation, none of those three names got brought up.
They didn't.
And that's what that's why I'm saying maybe this Charlotte Tiffany thing is hitting a little bit better than you guys are saying, because or thinking or feeling, because like you're not talking about the other matches. We're not talking about Rhea Ripley, Io, or Bianca.
But we're on SmackDown talk. That's where I'm going to throw my flag. If we want to have the conversation, I'll have the conversation. But we're on SmackDown talk.
Well,
hey,
I mean,
that is true.
Even in this main event talk, we haven't talked about that, and like that's a big matchup, right?
Yeah,
am I wrong? Are they getting
three great competitors, by the way? But let me stay there for a second. I just want to say one quick thing, because I've been sitting on this stuff a minute while we've been talking here, and we got my man OG Tony over here in the chat who brought up, guys, This is the way it's going to be. Top stories are going to matter under Triple H. I know. I understand. I get that, OG Tony. I understand that. So like, here's my question to all you guys. I'll give you guys a little bit of time to marinate on it because we still got SmackDown to talk about. We still got a few other WrestleMania matches to talk about that we've got to get to. But I want you guys to think about as we into our commercial break. Is the main event no longer what we think it is? Is the main event just an aura? Don't answer that yet. Don't answer it yet. Think about it for a little bit. On the other side of the break, we're going to pay a few bills. Is the main event an aura? Me and the fellas talk about the other side of this break.
Hello, everyone. It's the Pope Elijah Burke, founder and president of the Love Alive charity. I wanted to take this brief moment to share with you my charity's continued humanitarian efforts to positively impact the impoverished communities in and around the greater Jacksonville area. This cannot be possible without your support. If you'd be so kind, please take a moment to visit our website, love-alive.org, to learn more about the charity and its mission. Also, feel free to donate to our 501c3 organization that operates off of the donation of the public, which is you. Whether that be by website or via Cash App, $1 help makes a difference in the lives of others as we continue to positively influence many people by being the change that we wish to see in the world.
Hey guys, it's Old Connor. This is NCAA Bracket Mania Challenge. It's the standings watch presented by In Your House. And things have changed quite a bit here on the standings. We have the blue-eyed villain himself, Frontmeister, there at number 1, tied with Raw and Mrs. Voice, Leslie Kuhn. Who's going to win? They're at the top as we're entering the Final Four here pretty soon after today's games. You have Old Con in there at number 4. Hypocrisy Jones, the former leader of the pack, is now down to number 5. My bracket is in there at number 6, tied with Austin Cohen. Street has fell down to number 8. Roger Pettit, our guest, at number 9. Wrestle Arts Jeff at 10. The Chaos Goblin Kevin Calloway at 11. Tommy T at number 12. The Voice Josh Joseph jumps up to 13, where Paragon and Miss Fabulosity have fell down to 13 and 15. Now remember, ladies and gentlemen, we're not doing this for nothing. This is for our opportunity to host your own topic at our April 13th WrestleMania special Sunday house party. And hey, you get a little In Your House merch. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the NCAA Bracket Mania Challenge Standings Watch presented by In Your House. Guys, that was the NCAA Bracket Mania Standings Watch presented by, of course, In Your House. And Meister, who in the hell are you paying off, man? I need answers, bro.
I don't know. I don't know. Lady Luck apparently decided, hey, congratulations, you're gonna be ranked number 1. You dumbass. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. I can only thank dumb luck that I am ranked, that I've been ranked in the top for pretty much the entirety of this tournament so far. But I mean, I can still lose. Because I don't have a lead. I'm tired.
You and I are gonna fight. You and I are gonna fight. This is a dog fight, bro. I had the lead for so long, and
you did. Listen, bro. Okay. So I gotta ask this. Voice, how is Mrs. Voice feeling right now? She's up at the top of the leaderboard. She can get some In Your House merch. She can have her own topic in our WrestleMania special. Have you and Mrs. Voice talked about this?
Yeah, she was bragging last night how she in all the fucking brackets she's in like the top 3. And
oh my god, yes.
I mean, congrats to her. She picked who she picked, but ultimately, Purdue's gonna win this, guys. So this is what I'm saying. I've been saying
they're out.
No,
yeah,
well,
they already lost.
Never mind then.
Well, trust me, I was sad about it too, bro. I wanted them to win.
But you know
They're
what?
not
Fuck
even in
it.
my. I didn't even have a win.
I don't
Guys,
give a
I did a
shit about Duke.
bracket for fun where I let my 5-year-old pick the winners. I just gave him the names of the teams and I let him pick the winners. And in that
Okay.
bracket, I'm winning the damn bracket. And I'm like, I'm done. Giovanni is picking the rest of my picks for the rest of my life. I'm done.
Yeah,
I
from
just,
now on. Yeah.
Go with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Because
That's
hey, Grunt,
amazing.
you know what that says?
You take those parlays to
What?
Vegas, my guy.
That says that these are built for 5-year-olds to get them right. So
Yeah.
good job, man. Way to beat a
Dang.
bunch
Should have
of
let him pick this one
5-year-olds.
for me.
You're
Like,
killing me, boys. You're killing me, boys.
Way to go, Gun.
Oh man.
And
All
Lady
right.
Lady
All right.
Luck isn't even going anywhere near you. She does. Ladies don't like you, and you know that.
Damn.
Oh God.
Oh,
Personal.
yeah.
Leave Grunt alone.
God damn.
Fans, this is a friendship that me and Grun can do these
Yes.
things to each other. So settle down.
Hey, it's all love here, not sure. But before we went to break, I did have a thought for you guys. Is main eventing an aura? Is it a vibe? Is it an energy? Is it this person steps out onto the ramp or into the ring or what have you? It's like, hey, that guy, anything he does, that's main event worthy. I'm gonna give it to our guest first, Big Raj. Main eventing, is it just, it's not just a hey, you win this match opportunity. Is it a vibe? Is it an aura? Is it an energy?
yeah, so I think it is becoming more of a vibe and an energy. I'm a traditionalist. I feel like your big championships on a show need to be the star and they need to be the main event. I'll reference a merge that we just had. Our main event was the tag team match, and it was a great match.
It was, yeah.
In my heart of hearts, I felt like that Outbreak Championship match with Matt Diesel should have been our main event. Now, I'm just the ring announcer, but titles in my world, titles matter. When they give you that title, it says something about you as a worker. It says something about you as the person they believe in, and I think that's who should be closing your show. It doesn't always have to be your world title, like in the Outbreak title situation. And then I'm close with me. I'm close with Paragon, and JD Mariani's literally my brother, and I'm still saying they should not have main evented. That it should have been the Outbreak title. That's just personally how I feel. As a wrestling fan. But I do think it is kind of changing in nature. And I do agree that they're going to be doing more story-driven main events, and I get that shift. But the old head in me wants to hold on to that tradition of championships matter. So
I get it. I
yeah.
feel that vibe. I think, and Voice was talking about that a little bit too. So I want to ask him, main eventing, bro, vibe, energy, a feeling, or should it stay what we see as a tradition?
Well, I mean, yeah, I do think it should be a tradition, but I do think that vibe is a big thing. And if you're not a entertainer, a wrestler, or a performer who can bring that main event vibe, then you shouldn't be in that main event. And I think we're seeing that because if you go back to SmackDown and you watch the contract signing, look how animated Seth got when they found out that when Paul tells CM Punk, you did it, it's in there, I know it is, you guys are main eventing, you're going to main event. And then Seth explodes. I mean, what Seth did and what Seth said, yeah, exactly. That's what happens in my head when we break through tradition. But again, if we don't push past tradition, then we still have women being bimbo valets. We still have all of that stuff.
And that's
so
fair.
This is very progressive of you.
I'm a progressive dude. I'm the biggest feminist people will ever see, my friend.
Let me ask you this.
My bad, Flo. Jesus.
Let me ask you this, though, Voice. You said that like the main event, your champions, should you put a major title on a person that doesn't give you main event feels? What's the point then? If your champion does not give you main event feels bigger, think of Roman Reigns all those years. I always believed he was going to main event because he had that aura and that vibe of a main eventer. If your champion doesn't have that feel, why are they your champion?
That's a good question. But I think you
That's
can
a
do.
very good question.
Yeah, that's a great one. But once you said that question, though, one name popped into my head, and I know it's probably going to create a little waves, but Daniel Bryanson, whatever he's going by now,
Bryan
Bryan
Danielson.
Danielson,
Mm-hmm.
when he won his first WWE title, and I'll even go into Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero. Did a specific group of fans see all of those guys as main eventers? Yes. Did the guys who ran the show see them as main eventers? No, they had to work at it. They had to prove themselves. Benoit, first off, just looking at him and Guerrero, Vince never thought of them as main eventer world title holders, but they proved that they were because they got the fans behind them, and every week it just grew and grew. Same with Brian. Same with I will even say Seth when he first got
Kofi.
his title. Kofi.
I was gonna say you could
Yeah.
throw Kofi
Think about
Kingston
that.
in there.
Exactly. Now, did Kofi Kingston do things that we would consider was a main event move in a match? Most definitely. But until he was given that opportunity, then everybody seen, okay, this dude can do a main event style match. And then you have Brock coming in giving him 9 million F5s, things like that. But still exciting. So I get where you're coming from, and trust me, in my heart of hearts, I'm there with you. I'm still that 13-year-old who's like, that world title, that means something. How dare you, Hulk Hogan, drop Kevin Nash with just the touch of doom?
Yeah.
How dare you spit in my child? I'm there with you, but I think I'm going to trust the captain at the ship, and that is Triple H. And he has shown and proven time and time again that even though we are scared and we don't like change, sometimes the change is great and fantastic. And I think the women's division is proof in the pudding of that. I think where we are now with some of the people that we see as champions, as who we root for, is a proof of that too.
Hey man, I know exactly what you're saying. That's real spit right there. For real. I vibe with the back and forth that we having right now. In a second here, I'm about to throw it to Grundmeister and ask him, but first I gotta throw it in the chat real quick because we got our guy the Lou. He is talking about the IY. Throw it up one time for my man. The Lou in the chat. He says happy Sunday. He also references the finger poke of doom. That was nasty work, man. I couldn't believe that back in the day. That was some nasty work. But Grundmeister, the main event scene, bro, is it a vibe or is it dripping off this individual man or woman? What are your thoughts?
I think it's a vibe. I think it's an aura. It's an energy. It's a feeling, because we have definitely seen matches, and we've seen people being given titles that, while their work, you can argue like they deserve to be world title one time for a minute, like Jinder Mahal, for example.
Don't hinder.
No one.
Don't hinder.
Don't hinder.
Nobody would have bought a ticket to see Brock Lesnar versus Jinder Mahal. But I get it. That was a business move to get into the market of India.
That was a business move.
Like
It worked.
It was also to add. It was a business move to take off him and put it on style.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
In your
100%.
argument, it sounds like over 1 million people would pay to see Jinder versus Brock. Not here.
on pay-per-view.
Give me all your
Not here, yeah.
But yeah,
aren't pay-per-view buys international as well?
they are.
Sometimes.
The issue was they also wanted to make sure they had enough people in seats, so they went with AJ Styles. But yeah, no, like this entire last 18 months have in WWE, from Raw, SmackDown to NXT, everything feels like what you care most about is the story, because they're always recapping, making sure people are up to date. This is what's going on. This is why Trick Williams is livid and seems to be turning heel. This is why Stephanie Vickers is on such a high right now, and this is what she needs to watch out for with Jordan Grace. Gunther being this dominant champion, always talking this smack, and yet Jey Uso keeps standing up to him. And Cody Rhodes was feeling more fired up than ever because he feels just how the fans feel, that John Cena has betrayed them. John Cena stabbed them in the back, and he has said, "You guys mean nothing to me." All that storytelling has got the fans way more excited for for WrestleMania, but at the same time, it's like, I'm sorry, like, while the women's the Raw Women's World Heavyweight Championship the story may not be as big as emotional, it is so exciting because we're gonna get Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca Belair in a triple threat. Holy hell, that's gonna be chaotic, and I'm all here for it. That is going to be a fantastic match. Could steal the show. Could be the match of the entire weekend. Could be, because these three, they're not, because these three women, like, you got, like, Rhea and Io, they wanted to be pro wrestlers their entire lives. Bianca was a power lifter, who was found by Mark Henry, and she has fallen in love with it. She has fallen in love with it, and she has become one of the biggest. Yeah, an absolute natural. And has become one of the top women in the division, hands down.
Hey, Grun, just real quick fact for Grun. So India has 1.4 billion people, so I don't think they would have had problem finding seats.
Okay.
Yeah,
they could have found. There's 1.4 billion.
I think they mean because it was. You mean because it was in an American?
I know.
Then we have to talk about: are they actually all going to be able to fly out there?
Well, if it's in India,
that's the question.
If it's in India, sure. Like, I'm not going.
Oh, if it's in
They're doing
India,
a European tour right now.
You do that. You keep that title on him.
Yeah,
I say you take it off of him and you watch what happens.
So I got two quick questions for you guys on this main event talk. So
okay,
part of it, and we may hit on it, but part of it leads into the opening of SmackDown this week with Randy Orton coming out and talking to Cody, and Randy declaring he wants a title shot. And for me, that felt weird because I was like, Randy's always in the title shot discussion because he's Randy Orton. But if you're looking at the storyline wise, Randy, you got your own chaos with Kevin Owens. You're not even in the title picture. Why are we giving Randy Orton time to say, I want a title shot after I'm done with Kevin, and not giving the three guys who are going to main event saying, if I win this match, I want a title shot. If I beat CM Punk, if I beat Roman Reigns and I beat Seth Rollins, I'm next in line for Cody Rhodes' title or Gunther's title, whoever. It felt weird to me to have Randy come out and declare this want for a title shot when you're not even in the picture of that, bro, and not give that nod to what's going to be our main event in a triple threat with three superstars, three past champions.
I think that's lazy writing.
Yeah,
I think there is logic behind it. The logic is Roman and Seth.
Yeah, I think it's coming.
Their focus isn't on the title. CM Punk's focus is absolutely on the title, and CM Punk is just going to manipulate his way into a triple threat match night 2. That is because I think, Jones, you're the one that first proposed.
So you're saying that CM Punk's going to get into the second night in the main event for the title
because he's going to win night 1.
See,
he hasn't. He still needs his favor.
Yes.
He still absolutely needs his favor.
I forgot about that favor.
The question is still the favor.
Well, see,
that
right
favor
now,
is huge, but
I think the favor is you ask Paul to represent you.
Maybe.
I still think there's a reality where the favor is they make night one's main event a number one contenders match for the undisputed championship. I think that if you do that, so is this a main event caliber match? Absolutely, 110%. I'm not arguing that these three men and what did you say, Hype? Between them, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, 13 WrestleMania
13.
main events.
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, that's huge. That's nothing to scoff at, bro. That is nothing.
No.
I think
So,
you add a
essentially,
degree of urgency. I think
Essentially,
you
I think
add
we're setting up
a degree of
great
urgency if you make it a number one contenders match.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think in all this, we're setting up for a really, really, really good backlash. I can't remember where backlash is going to be this year, if it's international or if is it in St. Louis?
Is it Mexico City? No, it's
I-
St. Louis. I think it's St. Louis.
I think it is in St. Louis this year. But also I think we're foreshadowing some things. Grun, you're hitting on the CM Punk thing, but I think with the Randy Orton thing, I think we're foreshadowing some things that have already been talked about. He's already hearing voices in his head. His plan is to go after 15. In the same universe that Cody Rhodes is in, The Rock counted 1, 2, 3, and I don't think Travis Scott is the third. So like possibly we hear voices Randy Orton siding with The Rock in some capacity. And
Oh hell
I don't
no!
So Rock,
hell
Cena, and
no.
Orton.
right.
Ooh,
Right?
that's nasty.
So maybe if Cena doesn't get the job done, then Orton goes in to clean up.
Ooh, wait a minute now. Hold
Oh
on now.
my God.
That's a good thought. I don't hate it.
And not to brush past Kevin Owens, but like Kevin Owens has been he's been telling the world about these conspiracies anyways. He Drew McIntyre and to some effect Seth Rollins. Those three have been telling the truths, the untold truths about what's been going on in the WWE universe behind the scenes. So like maybe their plan is to lay out Kevin Owens in some capacity during this match and to really show their face so that they can show their face to Cody. I don't know. It's a wild theory.
I'm marinating on this. I'm marinating on it because, like, if we get like corporate Orton again, because like we've been having this conversation, right? It's a weird universe where we have a heel John Cena and a face Randy Orton. And don't get me wrong, Randy Orton face, I never thought I'd see a day, but his face turn is hitting. It is hitting.
It is.
He's doing great. But man, I got to tell you, when he's talking about kicking when they had, he's talking about he's hearing voices. I think there's a chance that even though I can say I never thought I'd say it, I've fallen in love with babyface Randy Orton, I still think there's a place where he can gear and do some real sick mess. And I think that with The Rock and Cena and the history that those two have, and then the history that Cena and Orton have, and them being now considered the old guards now. They're and what did Brown say there? Well, they came and they destroyed the old guards. And what did you say, Hype? You have guys like Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre that's telling the unfiltered truth. You know, what if they were right all along? What if these guys aren't the bad guys? What if the bad guys are the good guys? You know, when we thought that they were the good guys, we saw John Cena take his mask off. What if it's time for Randy Orton to take his mask off too? And we see this big time corporate faction between two of the top guys. And of course, you got there who's, you know, the corporate juggernaut voice. He was looking over there like you just got something to say, bro. Look at that. Look at him.
He's not lying.
I think it's a bit of lazy writing, and the reason I said that was because I think they're foreshadowing Orton versus Cena. I see Cena winning Mania and going over Cody. I just do. I think that's where they're going. So that's based off of that opinion. But I see exactly where you guys are coming from with a lot of this stuff. And we always got to remember he's Randy Orton. He's a Viper. Snakes snakes will bite anything. They don't really give a shit, you know. That's what a snake does. So Randy Orton definitely a huge piece of WWE, but I do agree with Raj here. It wasn't necessary. It doesn't. Right now, it doesn't make sense. Maybe in the next couple weeks, it will make sense. But right now, I'm gonna get in Roger's boat over here. That's where I'm at.
Gotcha.
It didn't make any sense really.
Gotcha.
I liked it.
No.
I liked it, but it didn't make that much sense.
Oh, you can like something and it still not make sense.
Yeah.
Orton is always in the title picture. If they put Orton in a main event Monday for the title, you could go, oh yeah, it's Randy Orton. It makes sense. But when you're already in this weird chaos with Kevin, where you're wanting to punt him, he's wanting to drop you on your head, and then all of a sudden you're coming out like Cody, and that title really shouldn't be on your mind right now because you got a crazy man at WrestleMania in Kevin Owens who has been trying to hurt people. And you got a bad neck, bro.
He already has that covered. He already has that that's not.
You think he
not
got
a worry
it?
in his head because he's already made.
But it should be.
Those voices are going to come clear.
Hey, we'll see come WrestleMania time. But listen, I want to move on because there's something else I want to talk about, and I've been dying to talk about it. So we've been seeing the evolution of this new Naomi, and I think when you see this new Naomi, you really need to proceed with caution because, man, this promo
I see what
that
you did
she
there.
cut, you saw the promo that she cut on Friday was masterful. I've loved Naomi voice. Me and you have raved about Naomi and the work that she did with TNA and how she handled getting released. We can go on and on. But another thing that you say, voice, is taking those 5 minutes and Naomi, that promo, that tear in her eye, that real feeling of betrayal, the video package that came along with it, the cinema behind it. Oh my God, it really just, and I'm raving, but I'm doing it because for me, these past 2 weeks have changed the trajectory of Naomi. Now, voice, you're a huge Naomi supporter just like me. What are your thoughts on this new progression of the Naomi character?
Well, I mean, it's something that we've been calling for. It's something that we've been saying that needs to happen. There needs to be, I mean, there's a lot you could say about what Naomi has done in the past couple years. She's fantastic. She gets it. She understands where her moments are. And that 5 minutes I always speak of in this promo, she hit everything on it. Can you Monday or Tuesday quarterback, whatever the saying is, some of the things, yeah, you can, but what she did in that moment was raw, real. And the way they produced it was fantastic. I love the spot where she alluded to Bianca, who did you idolize? And then they flashed all those pictures.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was money.
And then you see that tear, and that was a real tear because you notice the way she wiped, like that's the way someone would wipe their face when they're trying to get to a point, trying to take away what you just seen. And Naomi, god damn, she's so good. She is just so good. And go back to our December episodes and things like that. And I said, this is going to be her year. And it has already started off with her just knocking this out of the park. But I really, just wait. After Mania, you're going to see Bianca was the puppeteer behind all of it. See, someone already agrees.
I agree. I think Bianca is going to be and Naomi are going to be back together as heels after Mania. It just makes sense. It doesn't make sense any other way to me. On that Naomi, not the butt in, but I will tell you that I've been around wrestling and watching wrestling for so long, I can enjoy it, but not everything gets me. that promo got me literal goosebumps. I was The Rock. Literal goosebumps when I watched that promo, and saw what the production and her delivery of the promo, and it actually made me feel something. I've also been a Naomi fan for a long time and respect the way she handled her release, but this right now is probably my favorite Naomi through all of it. And it made me feel. And for me, that's a big thing when something actually makes me feel something. And I'm really excited for where it's going.
Yeah, no,
I'm with you.
absolutely. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. And I know my man Hype, you're big on production. You're like me, bro. You're tearing it all down, bro. You're looking at the camera work, you're looking at the cuts and stuff.
Yeah,
You're like that in that mindset. What was your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, I like the emotion. I like the realness, and I told you guys last week. I said I think there just needs to be a little bit more edge to Naomi, and I think this helped. This helped in it. I know she had the attack the previous week. She came out with the caution tape, but this is more what realness. Hey, this is why I did this. You know, you let this outsider come in, and all she is really a snake, and you're gonna see that she's a snake. This is what I needed out of Naomi, and I like the way this is where this is going, and I really like what this is going to mean for that triple threat match, because I know that this Naomi Jade storyline is going to involve Bianca. Bianca is gonna be affected by this during her match in some capacity, and I can't wait to see how it shakes out.
Yeah, it's been fire, bro. I mean, it's just been good, and I'm gonna throw it to Grunmeister, but I'm gonna hit you with a different question, Grun. It's
All right.
just like it's just like Hype was saying with the whole Naomi thing. It's like she's a heel, but in her mind, she's justified. And I think that's what it's always been, is what it's always should have been. But from a fan's perspective, are we now living in the age of justified heel?
Say that again. You cut out something. Age of something heel.
The justified heel.
Justifiable heel.
Age of the justifiable heel. I think so, because I think you could argue that the Street Profits have been heelish, but at the same time, it's like when you look at why they're mad, it's like, oh yeah, you guys, like, Nick Aldis screwed you guys every time. You would have a straight up tag team title match, someone would interfere, and then all of a sudden, it's triple threat, 4-way. It's like, and then the one time when they finally get their 2-on-2, no interference, no bullshit, they bury DIY and become the tag team champions again. So clearly they could always do it, but they kept getting screwed. They were screwed. So yeah, I think that makes things interesting, because now it adds a lot more to someone being a heel. It's a new way to tell a story, and it's like, so far it's worked. I think Naomi's. I think we're seeing two versions. With Naomi, we're seeing it's in her head. She thinks she's justified, but no one else does. Whereas Street Profits, they are justified because there's evidence to support it. With Naomi, it's pure opinion. Nothing really confirms what she's saying, because it's like, I mean, Jade has not done anything to make you believe that Bianca can't trust her.
You've never had a best friend, huh?
No, I have. I have.
Oh,
You don't, if you have a best friend and some new kid comes in talking to your best friend, you're like, hey, let's all get together and make this friendship a 3-way friendship. No, you protect your best friend and you say, no, Fuck that dude. I heard he ate cats from the last
You
place. he
only
was.
have one best friend. You can't have
Exactly.
best means
We talked
one.
about
You
this.
can't-
We talked about this
Yeah.
earlier.
Yeah, you can't. Like you can't have multiple best friends. You get one. I'm cool
Yeah.
with Khan. He ain't my best friend. I love him. He's not my
Hey,
best friend.
hey, much love, bro.
You know what I mean? I only have one best friend. Uh,
Oh man, no, I hear what you guys are saying, but listen, I wanna keep this going. Well, hold on, we got the Lou up here. Let me bring Lou. Best friends, Lou and Run, and then bring it back up. Bring it back. Bring it back. There we go. Me, my man voice. Best friends. He calls me Kenny.
Old school
Oh,
airplanes.
I thought voice was Kenny.
oh yeah, we fly airplanes all the time. Are you
I-
dying all
I
the
could-
time, bro? Don't die on me, bro.
I
At least
do.
not. Don't die at all.
Now at night when I go to sleep.
Yeah.
makes
It all
CPAP
starts
use for
over
that
again.
voice.
Are you're an avid
That's it.
South Park watcher, right? So you know that it starts all over. He dies and then he just wakes up in the morning.
Yep. And we had to wait until fucking Mysterion for them to lay it out for the people who didn't understand Kenny.
You get it. You get it. So all right. Let me get back to SmackDown though, because Grun, you made a good point. Because you were talking about the Street Profits and how, even though they were doing heelish things, everybody saw that they were justified. And when they got the opportunities to compete for those tag team championships, it's that moment and they won it. And they had their first defense since winning those tag team championships. At least I think it is. But
Yep.
they went pretty deadly. And this was a great for Pretty Deadly because Pretty Deadly
Great
coming
match.
out. Yeah, they took their moment and were in their in their home their home country, and it was great. And I think that we've continuously had this conversation about sound tags and how it's just loaded and loaded. And like, here's the thing: you have not only do you have the DIYs and the Motor City Machine Guns and the Street Profits, now you're building teams like Pretty Deadly and Los Garzas and whatnot, and then you have Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, who are interchangeable. You could either run them as singles or you could put them in the tag division. This SmackDown tag team division is cracking for real. And I want to ask this to hype the trajectory of Pretty Deadly's tag team division. Do you see them like more favorable now after Friday night?
Pretty Deadly, you said? Do I see them more favorable?
Yeah, even though they lost.
I think them being in their home country very much so helped the reaction that they got, and I'm not hating on them. I like Pretty Deadly, but I think in front of an American audience, maybe unfairly, they have a ceiling, but they are very good. But there's part of me that I'd like to see them steer their team direction characters into a different direction. I don't know. I don't know. I like Pretty Deadly, but I can see where they're going to wear thin on me pretty quickly.
Hey, you got to have a mid card there, even on the SmackDown.
Yeah.
But there's the thing: there's 5. But it's a good thing that there's 5 interchangeable teams, and they had their moment. I still listen. I don't think that. Are you asking me if they're going to win the tag team championships anytime soon? I'd err on the side of no. But I like the fact that they have the depth. I see Big Raj over there shaking his head. Where are you at, man, with this SmackDown tag team division as a whole, though?
Yeah, as a whole, I love it. I'm a big fan of tag team wrestling. I grew growing up, the Hart Foundation, the Rockers, Legion of Doom. I loved tag team wrestling and what you can build story wise. So for so long in the Fed, it felt like it was an afterthought. So to see it rejuvenated and be hot excites me. Pretty Deadly does not excite me. There's something about them I don't know. I just something about them. When they were in NXT, they didn't do it for me. When they came to the main, they didn't do it. I can't. Maybe I don't like their accents. I can't explain it to you, but they just don't do it for me. But overall, I'm really excited to see where it's going. Last week, I think the Voice teased maybe doing a six-way and bringing the Hardys in for a ladder match. I
Yeah,
think that
yeah,
would be
oh yeah.
amazing. I'm a huge Hardys guy, though. Being a '90s wrestling kid, So, but yeah, it's exciting to see, and I hope it keeps going because I feel like they do this sometimes, right? They give us some great tag team action, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
what happened? Where did it
It
go? So
becomes
I
the
hope
Sahara
they
Where's the
Desert.
tag team division at? It's gone.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. I hope they keep it moving. I think they got great talent. I wish Raw would take a little bit of this SmackDown tag team and feed it into Raw because I'm going to admit I watch Raw far more than I watch SmackDown because I can watch it on my phone on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
So I don't get to watch SmackDown as often. But
Sure.
so I wish some of that would feed into Raw so I could experience it more. But it's great to see for sure.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I definitely hear what you're saying. As far like you want to see it more on the Raw side of things, because we've been calling
Yeah,
for that for a while. That
yeah.
Raw tag team division damn near non-existent, and it's sad because I also like you, Big Raj, love tag team wrestling. Let's stay with the mid card here for a little bit because something that I noticed from SmackDown that I enjoyed myself is a couple of things. First off, I really enjoyed seeing Katana Chance and Caden Carter get a little TV time. They're a tag team that I've raved about for a long time, and I really love them. Life of the Party. I don't know if that's not their official tag team name, but that's what I call them. Life of the Party, on a chance of Caden Carter. So I was enjoying seeing them on TV. But another thing that I thoroughly enjoyed from that match is the Secret Hervis. And I love the fact that Alba Fire is now getting on TV. She's getting TV time now, getting involved with Chelsea Green and Piper Niven is getting her time and taking advantage of her time. I think this is a thing where Chelsea Green is like, hey, you guys see now, boom, here I am. I'm taking because Chelsea Green scratched, clawed, and fought for every single thing that she's gotten in the wrestling business through injury, through being released, through coming back, through working up through the indies. She's just a great worker, and she gets it. She thoroughly gets it. And now for her to bring somebody like Piper Niven in and give her and Alba Fire to bring her in and give her a purpose, and I'll put them together. Now, not only do you have the Women's United States Championship, you began the build of a tag team that could compete for a women's tag team championship, a division that me and Annie have talked about is beginning to heat up in these last few months. Hype, I don't know if you got a chance to check that out, but what do you think about the Secret Hervis? I know you're a Chelsea Green guy, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I love some Chelsea Green. I like the Secret Hervis. I like the dynamic of the tag team. I think I think if we could potentially see the Chelsea Green stay United States champion, as well as maybe the Secret Hervis gaining those tag titles, that might be an interesting dynamic in the future. And I'm shout out to Piper Niven and Alba Fire for just doing their thing. You know what I mean? So, and finding something out of that could potentially be nothing with the wrong person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And you had the unfortunate stuff with Alba Fire and her tag team partner getting released. So, that she don't got nothing to do with that. That has nothing to do with her. So I'm glad that they, found the opportunity for her to get back on TV. I just wanted to bring that up real quick. And because it's lower mid card, but I just wanted to throw that out there real quick because we got to move on to what happened in the United States Championship match that went down, and that was LA Knight versus Braun Strowman. It ended in a no contest due to Jacob Fatu. And I'm somebody who's been critical of the United States Championship scene right now. Most definitely. I think that with the Shinsuke Nakamura title reign, listen, I'm a fan of Shinsuke Nakamura. I've said that on this show. I've said publicly, I'm a huge fan of Shinsuke Nakamura. The United States Championship run did not hit in any way, shape, or form. It's unfortunate. Okay, also going through personal things as well, so dealing with that, but also it just didn't hit, and I don't want to get into a whole thing about Shinsuke Nakamura because that conversation. So I'm going to shift back to the United States Championship and say this. I like where it's moving. You got Braun Strowman that's in the mix. LA Knight is the champion. Now you have Jacob Fatu, who's stating claim to it. An explosive promo with Solo and Tama Tonga backstage, and he's said clear intentions that he's coming for that United States Championship. He interrupted the champion match and looked pretty damn strong over Braun Strowman and LA Knight. I want to throw it to the voice here, man. What are your thoughts right now? Because I know me and you have been talking a lot. What can they do to help out the United States Championship scene? We always had Melo in that mix. It doesn't seem like we're moving in that direction. What's your thoughts right now about the current state of the United States Championship?
I do love it. I just wish I could get like a magic wand and get LA Knight out of the picture, because he bores me. He's much like, like Jones was pretty deadly.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, like I just there's a couple names that were thrown out that I'm there with him on his views with Pretty Deadly. They're gonna wear thin with me. Chelsea Green's another one, but LA Knight having
Take that
title.
Stop that now.
I can't.
I can't get on the LA Knight hate, but
look, I get it. LA Knight has a spot, but it's chasing. It's not.
He also has a ceiling.
To me, once he has it,
he also has it.
Oh, you bore me, Zoidberg. So I get where his fan base is about him, because he's entertaining. But like I said, once he gets it, it's like, this is not what I want anymore. And Jacob actually coming in and stating his claim, and then the look he gave Solo when he said "without you" goes to show me that he is about to take Solo out. No matter what, Solo is out. Like, Jacob had already set his mind. I think he got his heart really broken, and back in the day, nobody told him how to deal with that. So he's just on a hate tour of Solo right now, because he told him he loved him multiple times on national television, and he screamed it at him. So for him to feel betrayed in the way that Solo was not worthy of Jacob's love, I think Solo's got a big pain coming towards his way, and it's Jacob Fatu. And I think it's going to be really interesting too, because I do think Jacob is the next in line for the title. And then I really do think they're going to run an angle where Solo is going to try to take it from Jacob, and that's how we're going to get the split. Whether it be Jacob splitting on his own, or Jacob taking what is his, what we've said since his arrival, that he should have been the one leading the new bloodline. It would have made it more believable, but I understand the story they're writing. So that's where I'm at. I do enjoy all the people going for it. I would, if I could and change it, I would take Melo and put him where LA Knight is right now and have him, because to me, Jacob chasing around a Carmelo, that's money. And that's great, because Melo is going to play in that world, and Melo is going to make it an entertaining world, which is going to bring more eyes to the United States title. Him trying to get away from Jacob. I would love to see a whole week of that.
I'd like to see that as well.
Yeah.
But to bring it kind of back to that tag team situation, I don't hate seeing a Miz and Melo in this tag sphere. And we didn't bring them up, but I think that could be a good tag team to throw in there. I'm not sure how much singles I really want to see Melo do right now, that I'm like believable in his chase for a title.
I think Melo was best. I think Melo was best placed in a spot where we saw it on NXT, where he was eventually the NXT North American champion, then eventually became the NXT champion. And I don't think they put those titles on him for no reason. Ben, the reason why is because I think that he hits different as a champion. And has a title. Like right now, he's just going around. Before he got with the Miz, he was just going around picking fights with people, trying to make his name and put his name out there. But I think if you put a belt on this guy and you take his cocky personality that he has, he's like, oh, I'm the guy, I'm the guy, I'm the most important champion on the show. Like, I don't know. For me personally, when a guy who's a mid-card champion says I'm the most important champion on the show, that hits for me, because it's like, hey, the top guy, you might have that over there, but I made this. This is what I made. And we've seen guys make the Intercontinental Championship. We've seen guys make the United States Championship, like a guy like John Cena, who took it and was like, hey, y'all come find me if you guys want to fight for this United States Championship. I'm having an open challenge. Or you have guys like The Miz, who own the Intercontinental Championship, Chris Jericho, who owned the championship, names like that. Just so much. I mean, so much. But I think with somebody like Melo, I think he can take that, make it hit. And honestly, I'll give him a super long reign, but I give him a decently long reign. I kind of like what they're lightweight kind of trying to do with Austin Theory, but I think that if you do it with somebody like Melo, it can really hit different.
I could see that.
So
Yeah,
just a thought on
I
that.
would
But
See that as well.
But listen, I want to throw it to Raj real quick, because I want to ask, where are you at on the current state of the United States Championship?
Yeah, well, I'm a huge LA Knight fan for multiple reasons. We could talk about some of those off the air because they're personal. But the away from that, I'm good with Melo getting the title run, but I think that belt has to come to Fatu.
Oh,
Jacob,
sure.
it has
that
to.
one.
Yeah, I mean, first off, for me personally, Jacob Fatu is the most entertaining thing in wrestling right now. When he is on my screen, I am watching. 100% of the
Same.
time, I run around the house yelling Fatu. My wife is not a wrestling fan. She knows who Jacob Fatu is because I don't shut up about him. So that belt
Yeah.
has to come to Fatu. I would be good with Melo getting a run, and maybe Fatu taking it off of him, establishing that babyface turn for Fatu. Because I think Jacob, he's money as a
It's
babyface.
moving in that
I
direction.
already loved it.
It's moving in that direction.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I get what you're saying about LA Knight. I do like him better as a chaser than a champion. I like that never quit, idea. You can't keep me down. I'm going to keep coming back for what is mine. But yeah, I'm excited by the U.S. title run right now. Some of that is because LA Knight has a title, and I'm a big guy of his. Fatu's in the picture. I'm a big guy, a big fan of his. I liked Hayes in NXT, so I could see him getting a good run. Yeah, and that, what I was thinking, Kyle, when you talked about him being the guy, is when he was the NXT champion, that was the aura. That was the vibe that he gave, right? It was, I don't care about anyone else.
Mhm.
I'm the champion, and this is what matters. I could see him doing that for the U.S. title. He's got to get away from Miz, personally, I think. I think Miz is an
Really?
anchor that brings a lot of people down, personally. But yeah, I love it. I'm excited to see. I like mid-card titles. I think big titles should be less utilized and mid-card titles used more, personally. So
I agree.
And I think we kind of been seeing. I think we kind of been seeing that, because let's not forget that the last 2 weeks of Monday Night Raw, the Intercontinental Championship is main evented,
Yep.
and I love that. I personally love that. I'm a huge fan of that. But got to get to the main event, and we're going to talk about the main event contract signing, because we haven't even broke that down the way I wanted to, and I want to make sure that we do. But real quick, before we get to that, Grun, I want to get some of your thoughts on Damian Priest, Cholam, and Drew McIntyre onto a car. Was that real glass, bro?
I think that was real glass.
CM Punk said no.
What was your thoughts, man?
I think that was real glass. I think this fight between Damian and Drew that's going to happen at Mania. I'm starting to think that most of the matches at Mania are going to be some level of no DQ style match, because it just makes sense. And it's like they don't have to be like all this match is a first to decapitate your opponent match. This match is a submission, is a ultimate submission match, or like I don't think it's
Dominic Mysterio on a pole.
Dominic Mysterio on a pole. Yeah, no one chicken tendies on a pole match.
Yeah.
No, but like I think even Drew and Damien, like I think they'll get maybe a last man standing stipulation. They might get a I don't know, an I quit stipulation, just like whoever quits, they're the bitch.
They got to do something to make me care. So if it's a no DQ match, if it's Damien, or I don't care. They got to do something to make me care. I am highly disappointed with this one personally, and I didn't mean to butt in there, Con. I'm sorry, but I'm so disappointed in this angle. Just this match, I could care. This will be the match where I probably go and get my sandwich for WrestleMania if they don't make it. Yeah, something. I need something to make me care. I was let down by the title run of Priest. I've been let down by Drew, and now they've got two guys that let me down facing each other. So,
but see, there's the thing, bro. Like this is why it's like, man, we got to get to this, contract signing, because there's a lot to unpack that training. Besides Drew McIntyre saying, "Oh well, Damian Priest is the reason for all my shortcomings," blah blah blah. There's not really a lot of on the bone. I see Drew trying. Like it's like he's the reason I'm not the champion. He cashed in on me. Blah, blah. I see him trying, but it's like I don't care, bro. Like I just like it's two guys I like because I like both cats. I love Drew McIntyre. His feud with his it's gonna be a good match. His feud with CM Punk. Money. He carried that feud through CM Punk's injury. Damian Priest, I feel like he changed his trajectory after leaving the Judgment Day. I think he did, absolutely. And I think that they realized that there's so much he could do on Monday Night Raw, so they tried to switch him and give him some different competitors on SmackDown, and then you just got these two to Drew McIntyre. For all intents and purposes, he should be in that main event at night one, and they should make it a fatal 4-way, but he's not. And it's where it's like you got two great guys that I like in a storyline that I couldn't give two shits about. So it is what it is with that. I'm not gonna honor it or anything like that.
I think you hit the nail on the head, Con, because you mentioned CM Punk and Drew. Drew already blamed CM Punk for not being champion, and now that feud's done, and he's like, "Well, it wasn't CM Punk's fault. It was Damian Priest's fault that I lost my." You can't. You already sold us that bank when you had this feud with CM Punk that you were mad, partially because of losing. You're not getting recognized, and now you're trying to sell me the same sandwich that you've already had me eat, and I'm good.
It really should have just been.
I'm ready for lunch because I've referenced food a lot.
This build-up really should have been like Drew McIntyre being like, "Why is every time I'm around, I see you, Damien? Why are you around all the time? Why are you in my ecosphere? Get the fuck out of my ecosphere!" And that should be the build.
Yeah, weren't you on Raw? I left Raw to come to SmackDown, and now you're on SmackDown. Why are you following me around? What's going on?
Yeah, like you got a problem with me, bro? Like we can scrap right now. Like that's what it should be. Like that's what. Yeah, most
big
definitely.
Facts. Big facts. But I see you too much. What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. It can really be as simple as that. I mean, it really could, but it's not. But let's get to this main event segment. We gotta talk about it before we slide out of here and call this a great episode, because there's a lot to unpack and a lot to rave about, and for me personally at least. So first off, Roman Reigns was in his bag. Like he was just listening to bro. He was just listening to this crowd just sing his name. He was enjoying it. It looked like bro really looked like he was on autopilot. That's how it looked like. He was just the way he's comfortable with the promo. Like as much as I love Heyman, he don't even need to be there because Roman was in his bag and it was clear. And like the crowd, he ate the crowd up. It was great. Then you got Crash Out Seth Rollins and his hatred towards CM Punk and his hatred towards Roman Reigns. We've done this together. Well, you know what? Roman Reigns shut that down real quick because he said, man died a long time ago. I'm the reason for Netflix deal. I'm the reason that we go into international shows. I'm the reason that this company is making money. You ain't doing nothing, bro.
He said, we're talking French now.
He's like, well, you, bro. He said what Roman Reigns said is like, we talking dollars and cents, and you don't look familiar to me, bro. Like, where are you at?
Mm-hmm.
And then you had Seth clap back and be like, man, you care about the numbers and the money and the titles and blah blah, but I care about this place and the sanctity of this place, and I'm trying to keep cancers like CM Punk out of here, and you keep fighting and do dumb shit, and I gotta clean your mess up. So yeah, I'm gonna always come behind you, and I'm gonna check you every single time that I see you, Roman. I'm not squeezing. I'm doing it for a reason because you keep moving weird, and I don't like it. You know, and then you got CM Punk, who's now coming into it. And CM Punk is like, listen, I don't really want to deal with none of y'all. Like,
unless
I'm trying to clear, like,
I'm sorry. I was trying to bounce off of what you were saying. CM Punk saying he doesn't want to have anything to do with anybody unless it has to do with this main event.
Exactly. That's exactly where I'm going with it. He don't want to have nothing to do with it. He wants the main event. He wants titles. He don't care about friendships. He cares about money. But guess what? Those years caught to him because Seth Rollins will not leave this man alone. Guys like Drew McIntyre will not leave this man alone. You know, every single time he tries to get to his goal, he's got like that coming and getting him. But of course, he still owes that favor from the wise man himself, Paul Heyman, the man on my shirt right here. And you know, we're all seemingly thinking him and reading. I love the details that they had with Roman's like, come on, what you thumbing through it, bro? We on TV. What are you doing? Like, you need a highlighter? Like just little quips like that from Roman Reigns. I'm like little quips like that from Roman Reigns that he doesn't have to say, but he does, is why he's that guy. Mm-hmm. Like that's why he's that guy, because he every single solitary second he's telling you something with his words, with his facial expressions. You don't really got to say much because the facial expressions tell it. Like when Roman was or when Seth was telling him, like, hey, I'm coming up and clean up your messes, and he's just coming like, bro, what are you talking about cleaning up? My like the looks on his face just kill me every single time.
Right.
But also the realness that happened with CM Punk and thumbing through that contract, and then you know Paul cover, it's in there. Paul starts to get emotional. He tells him that you are going to be a WrestleMania main eventer. The whole thing that we just had a whole diatribe about at the beginning of this show. For him, that moment comes to fruition, and the whole segment, the crash out from Seth Rollins, the importance that he put on the WrestleMania main event was insanely good. I loved it. And even the ending where we get left on a cliffhanger, it's like, hey, thanks for everything, Roman Reigns, but that's not my and it's like, it was so good. So good. Roger, man, I know you got thoughts, bro. Where are you at with that whole segment?
Yeah, I loved the segment. Okay, there are little things that I wish they would have done a little different, but it's nitpicking. Like when Paul went over and was embracing CM Punk, I wanted to see a little more irritation from Roman. Like, hey, you're my wise man. Why are you hugging CM Punk? But that's nitpicking, right? But overall, it was beautiful, and I got to say, these overseas crowds this last couple of months have given me life. You know, like I
Mm.
think we get so used to professional wrestling in America, you don't get these reactions. Every crowd,
Yeah.
every show overseas has made me hype because I'm like, I may not care about this, but they care, so now I care. Like, and I want to give
Mhm.
a nod to those over the sea crowds because they've really made some of this stuff feel more important or bigger than maybe I would have thought if it would have been in front of an American crowd. But
Sure.
overall, the segment, Seth Rollins crash out, because that's me. I'm hot. I'm going to get hot about things that I shouldn't. And his little crash out throwing that mic, I popped. I loved it. I want him to go heel in this match so bad. Like, I want him to end up being the one to turn so
Yeah.
bad. I don't think he's going to, but I want him to. But yeah, other than the little nitpicking things, just from me wanting a little more of the story heightened, it was perfect.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I mean, I was watching it and I was like, man, this feels minus what I think. Like I said, I'm gonna stand on business and say I still feel like the favor is some kind of making this thing a number one contenders match for the undisputed
Yeah.
championship. Even if they don't come out and say, hey, this is a number one contenders match for the undisputed. I think it's gonna be. I think it'll be heavily implied. And I think the favor could come into play with that. I don't know how yet, but I just a thought. But I want to go to voice here, man. Main event segment from SmackDown. What are your thoughts?
I thought it was fantastic. Everybody he did what they were supposed to do, and they're bringing a certain element of excitement to this match in particular, especially with the emotion that was shared between CM Punk and Paul. And I agree with you there, Roger. I would have liked to seen a little more out of Roman at that time. But if you go back to when Roman came out and they're in the ring and Heyman goes to hand Roman the microphone. When Heyman's messing with the microphone and he's saying something, if you look at Roman's face, Roman has this face of annoyance, of like, just like kind of like, get away from me. So it's almost like maybe they're playing 4D chess on this one, and that's why we didn't see Roman react, because he's kind of like already booting his wise man out the
Yeah,
door.
he's already
Because,
like, go be with CM Punk. I'm
yeah,
having
yeah,
my fill.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
could be.
but I don't know. You know,
Yeah.
time will tell on that. But overall, it was a great segment, and it really made contract signings fun again.
Mhm.
Is anyone glad that it didn't end in violence? Because I mean, that's usually you
It's
guys
so
you gotta.
cliche. It's cliche.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
glad. I'm glad that everyone just left and no one got put through the table because it's so.
Well,
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
Well, the
and
big
if you,
contrast from what we saw in Raw with their contract
Yeah.
signings,
yeah,
yeah,
with the women's division, where it was a lot of chaos, and it
Yeah.
has been a lot of chaos with Rhea Ripley inserting herself and everything.
yeah,
yeah. The bigger thing is that this segment on SmackDown, it didn't need that chaos. It didn't need.
exactly. Yeah,
You already had the crash out, as Khan called it, of Seth Rollins on CM Punk, and all that temper tantrums, the Roman stirring the pot, bragging about how CM Punk is finally getting his main event match at WrestleMania, and Seth failed to stop it. And
Yeah.
so it just you can just tensions, they're going to be rising, they're going to be building. This is going to be a bloodbath.
well, and
Oh,
you can make the argument Saturday night's not the main event.
You
If
can
you're
definitely make
a
that
true
argument.
traditional fan, that Sunday last match, that is your Mania main
That is
event. That
true.
is what you go
You can
home
make
on.
that argument.
And I think
you
that
can-
you could play off that angle, House, and get CM Punk into that. I think it would be.
I could give you ice cream and you can still call it yogurt, but it is what it is.
Listen, all I'm
Damn.
gonna say is I want to add that. I mean, and I'm not one to throw what somebody says back in their face or anything like that. That's just not how I move. But he is main eventing night one of WrestleMania. Like you said, traditionalists consider, the last match of the event event, but it is the last match of that night's event, but it's a 2-night event, and you did have CM Punk at some point say, he's happy not to be working for a place where it's like a bargain 2-for-1 type, special, event deal, so like, of course, stuff, and there's a thing, who, it's just like Hype said, it's just like you put a mic in front of somebody's face enough time, they're going some shit that's gonna get thrown back in their face. But all in all, I'm happy for CM Punk, and I'm happy that he's getting the opportunity to be a part of such storylines, because that's what this is. This is him. The main reason that makes this a main event is what is it? Aura, the energy, the vibe, because he's going into the last match of that night's event against two perennial WrestleMania main eventers. So, we can break it down and we can call it what we have, and we can say this and that and all that rigmarole and whatnot. But what you can't say, CM Punk at that moment, because that emotion was real. And, I think that in his mind, in his heart, he is going to be a WrestleMania main eventer. And I think at the end of the day, that's really all that matters. But Hype, I want to get some of your thoughts before you slide out of here. Oh, yeah, go ahead, bro. I was going to you anyway, bro.
I was just going to say, who's to say that CM Punk isn't involved in the night 2 main event as well?
Sure, hey, we don't know. We really don't know. Anything's on the table.
I'm a little over speculating that it's going to be like an overbooked event, because it feels like it's going to be an overbooked event. And there are battle lines drawn in this event. So who's to say that CM Punk doesn't go out during the main event night 2 to help Cody Rhodes and kind of be that WrestleMania MVP that Seth Rollins was a la last year.
Yeah. Hey, that's a good point.
So there's so many dynamics in this. I mean, like I was saying earlier with the ice cream thing, I could give you a pickle and you could still call it a cucumber. It is what it is. But main event is main event. Like the theme of this show, I think all morning all morning has been the main event is an aura, is a vibe, it's a feeling, and I feel like we have multiple main events, where the main event is just a section of the show itself. It's that last hour, it's those last couple matches, and I think that's kind of like what we get a feel of in maybe bigger time, like UFC events, boxing events nowadays. If you think to the recent boxing event with Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, and Amanda Serrano, and I can't remember the other girl's name for some reason, but both of those bouts were big time main events for their respective reasons. So as we think of main events, it's probably that last hour, those last couple matches on either night. And if you're in that time slot, you're in prime time, baby. Let's hope everybody performs.
Hey, that's a solid thought, bro. That is a solid, real thought. And I think that really just ties everything up, because we started out talking about the main event, and now we're ending talking about the main event. But I thought the middle of this podcast was really, really great as well. All of that in the middle, a lot of that because you got the core 4 here and our great guest here, Big Raj. And as our guest, I give you the opportunity to plug anything that you want to plug, any appearances that you have, anywhere you're ring announcing, social medias, whatever, man. It's just whatever you want to do. This is your time right now. What's up, Big Raj? What you got?
Yeah, first off, I appreciate y'all making space for me in the house. I enjoyed it. If you guys ever need someone to fill in, hit me up, bro. I really appreciated it. You can catch me at Emerge Wrestling on April 12th. I'll be ring announcing there. Tickets are still available, selling out quick. So if you want to get there, go to Emerge Wrestling on Facebook, grab yourself a ticket and come party with me. On April 19th, we have New Era Wrestling. I know that's WrestleMania Saturday, but doors open at 3. Show starts at 4. I've been promised by the company that we're having a limited show, so we're going to get you home in time for WrestleMania. Come do a little pre-show with us at New Era. It's going to be a great show.
Yeah. Have
Hey
yourself a
man, that's
WrestleMania
in the
party,
new
weekend party.
yeah
Yeah.
Started off
with some
at
actual
Emerge.
wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be over there at New Era in Shelbyville. That they do a great job out there. I'll also be at the, as well. Emerging Stars, that's gonna be really fun. We did last year's Emerging Stars, that was a vibe. But we gotta talk about an emerging star here at In Your House. Grandmaster, man, where can they catch everything that you're doing?
You guys can get me at twitch.tv/Grunmeister every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, where I give you my views and my opinions and a review and preview of SmackDown.
Hey man, we love you over there talking all things SmackDown. But we got an established star doing his thing on Mondays, and now we're doing our thing, getting extreme on Thursdays. That's the edge of extreme. The voice, Josh Joseph. Man, where can they catch all the stuff you're doing, bro?
All right. So, fans, if you liked what you heard here at the house party, you can come and check me and grunt out with our buddy Kevin Calloway, the Chaos Goblin himself, on Monday. It's a Monday Night Raw preview, review, whatever you want to call it. That's what we do. We talk Monday Night Raw, and it's 3 subjects where the first one is usually the one I bring to the table. It's a group discussion. We have a good talk, and then my co-hosts, they take over, and you get to hear whatever thought decides to pop out of their head at that time. It's usually a good one. Sometimes we get into the weird, so come and join us. That's Mondays every 7 p.m. And then, as you heard, we are changing the ECW watch along. It will be on a taint tickling Thursday. So come join me in house where we'll be getting extreme with ECW watch alongs, and we'll be out there just watching all that ECW fun. And there's going to be some fun things coming up in the future for that. So stay tuned for ECW.
Oh, yeah.
And then right here, Sunday house parties. You can catch me hanging out with my friends, giving them my thoughts and opinions. If you like them, you like them. If you don't, you don't. But I still give them. That's what house tells me to do. So blame house.
That's what we do. Yeah, that's what we do. Listen, bro, I'll take that blame because, man, you do a lot of great work here in your house. Days now going to be on Thursdays and on Sundays, and everything that you do in between. It is very much appreciated. I also truly appreciate the producer of the show, Hypocrisy Jones, my man. Where can they catch any and everything that you're doing? Or are you just chilling at home playing video games, bro?
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Like you can find me right here on Sundays at the Sunday house party. And other than that, man, I'm working. I'm taking care of family, and I'm just trying to stay low key. So like I enjoy talking wrestling on Sundays. So come here, catch us, vibe with us, bro. Tell your friends about us. Get more people into the Sunday house party. We want as much engagement as possible. Big shout out to Big Raj who came through today. Appreciate you, and the invitation is extended anytime and always. So anytime you got something you want to talk about, or you just want to jump in, just give us a holler, bro. You're always welcome. But other than that, man, you can maybe check me out on Facebook. I have a page or whatever. It's not important. Follow if you want to. I don't care. Follow In Your House.
Hey, man, I appreciate that, bro. It is appreciated. All you guys are appreciating all the work that you do here. I appreciate you coming on. You were a great guest, man, giving your thoughts and honest opinions. That's what we do here, man. That's what it's supposed to be is, we talk, we go through wrestling, and I really enjoy it because, like, especially this time of year, WrestleMania season, it's a great time to get real speculative and talk about all the stuff that we could see, could not see. And, like, this is a different time now because we're playing on the field where Triple H ain't playing fair. He could do what he wants. If he wants to change a title on a Monday Night Raw, he's going to do it. If he wants to debut a talent, like, we didn't even get to the fact that they teased. We got Ray Phoenix coming. We didn't get a chance to get into that.
Yeah.
But I'll let Grun get to that. I know he'll cover that, and he's gonna be excited to cover that. And we're gonna continue as that comes on in your house. But that was a big thing. I wanted to bring that up. But guys, because we have great people like this on this show, there's always an opportunity to talk about everything because everybody here puts in that work, and it's HOWSC because that W does stand for work. So from Great Big Raj, for the Grunmeister, for Hypocrisy Jones, for the voice, Josh Joseph, and for the rest of the team at In Your House, guys, I need you to hop on this bandwagon. Get gone, because the household is still going mighty strong. You guys have a great day and a great rest of your week. Peace.
Yeah. In your house with O'Con. Hey, O'Con in your house. Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's head in the clouds. Curating all kind of loud. Wrestling in front of the crowds. Paragon's holding it down. Anybody can get it. Josh Joseph standing on his decisions. He is the voice. There is no choice. We is them boys in your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast just like cruiserweight action. In your house is the perfect distraction. Rumpus in your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action. Smoke.